Hi, just thought I'd cover off on the second point of the core success strategies for getting a USA Sports Scholarship. We're covering that off as part of our 30-day game plan sports scholarship checklist. So we're doing a 10,000-foot helicopter view of some of the key things that you need to take into account and consideration for putting yourself out there and getting a sports scholarship. So yesterday we touched on clarity, and at the risk of sort of confusing things, there's like 6 core principles that we're talking about right now that underlie the process of the game plan. So the game plan's not all theory. If you want to know more about our 30-day game plan, you can click in the link on in the description box with this video. But there's these underlying core principles that help you get what you're looking for as far as the USA Sports Scholarship process is concerned. And those principles can be applied to anything that you're doing, whether it's school, whether it's sports, whether it's your career, whether it's university, whatever. So the second core principle is motivation. Now, we're not talking rah-rah motivation. We're not talking grind it out at all cost motivation, work your brains out, work so much harder than everybody else that you injure yourself or you burn yourself out. Or what we're talking about is core motivation, and that comes down to 3 things that this 30-day game plan and is our initial course that helps you look at the what, the why and the how of the US Sports Scholarship. So, what's on offer, why is that important to you, why do you want that? And that comes back to the motivation, because when you know at your core why you really want to do something, and that creates the internal drive for you to do the things that are necessary for you to push through the barriers, overcome the difficulties, block out the naysayers, those that maybe telling you that you can't do it, or there's no way you can do it, or whatever, or that internal self-doubt or self-talk that you get where you go, am I good enough, can I do this? Motivation around your focus and the clarity that we spoke about yesterday, knowing what you want, then knowing why you want it, and then just going through the process of discovery of how do you go about creating that opportunity for you. And with a sports scholarship, there's lots of different ways you can do it. You can go it alone, do your own research if you've got the time. Everything out there is on it's in cyberspace, right? Yeah, so you can go and find whatever it is that you need the answers if you know how to ask the right questions, so you get the right search results. So if you've got the time to do that, great, it's all out there and you can discover your way through it. You might fall in some potholes and learn from bad experiences, but you can do it. Then, something like our 30-day game plan, it's designed to fast track you through that process. So take you through a structured step-by-step process of discovering what's on offer in the US, then looking at creating a game plan for yourself, and that's basically the steps that you need to go through over the time frames that you've got available to you. What's the workload that you need to do? What's the action you need to take? And then giving you the tools to create a framework to allow you to go through that process effectively. Then 30-day game plan looks at personal branding. For you student athletes, probably personal branding is a new concept to you, but basically that's about you putting a message out to the marketplace, and in this case your marketplace is USA college coaches. You're trying to get their attention, then you're trying to engage with them, and we cover off on the 5 phases of the recruitment process from a college coach's perspective, and we do that in the 30-day game plan. So again, there's a link in the description with this video if you want more information on that. You can click on the link, go to a website, get a free video. You don't have to opt in for anything. You know, it says no commitment. Don't even have to give us an email. And yeah, so then the fourth phase of the process that you're going to go through if you're going to go down the US scholarship path is then connecting and engaging with coaches. And there's right ways and wrong ways to do that. And I saw an email, a copy of an email from a student athlete with a recruitment agency that sent out an introduction email to a coach, and it was just like, oh dear, really, you sent that? The first impression was terrible. Okay, absolutely terrible. So this student athlete's going to be, they want to be seriously good at their sports and have a whole lot of other things going for them to turn around that negative first impression. Okay, so these are all the types of things that we cover off on in the 30-day game plan. So again, free video, use the link in the description with this video. So coming back to motivation, you know, you want to know why you're doing something. Why is this whole US sports scholarship journey going to be important to you? Is it the academic outcome that's your key driver? Is it the sporting outcome? You know, do you have elite sports ambitions and you see the amazing resources, the amount of training and contact time, the support structures that are behind you in the USA as an elite athlete? Do you see that as creating your platform to take you to the next level? If you're not quite hitting where you want to be in your sports, you're not quite getting the selections at home that you're aiming for, which was our oldest daughter's scenario. Is the motivation the fact that you understand the value and the potential challenges based on two different pathways to a degree? So, you know, one of the things we talk about quite a bit is a degree is a degree is a degree. Degrees are becoming like armpits. It used to be that that nobody had a degree. You got a degree, you got in a job, you stayed there 30 years, hip hip hooray you, right? You had great security, you had job security, etc. Then everybody started getting a degree. So your degree wasn't your point of differentiation, and then experience chimed in, etc., without sort of going too deep on this subject. Then all of a sudden, for some reason, having a double degree became the next trend, right? So now everybody's got a double degree, but that's been going on for a long time. So now the trend is people are in their careers and now the double degree is not the point of difference. They're all going for masters at great expense and a lot more study. So the question for you starting out and going and getting your degree is, you're going into a very competitive market in most industries. What's your point of difference? Now, there's nothing wrong with studying at home. Don't get me wrong here. What we're talking about is those slight edges, those things that, those opportunities for you to stand out and be different. And from an employment or career perspective, if you're comfortable with traveling overseas and studying overseas as an international athlete, and you're looking at that, you're happy with that adventure, then one of the big motivators for you might be the person you become in the journey of being an international athlete. Okay, so you gain a whole lot of experience. You've got a lot of adventure, life stories and memories that go with going outside your comfort zone and traveling overseas at a young age. And that starts to mold you, but it gives you a point of difference between, you know, the thousands, tens of thousands of other students out there that have a similar degree to you, who maybe have worked harder academically to get a better academic result, but you come to an employer as a more rounded person with a lot more worldly experience, a lot more stories, a lot more skills that you've learnt in the process of you know, going through the elite athlete programs in the States. And morning, how you going? This is old Jock. He doesn't run too hard. He's worked hard. He's getting on a bit. Yeah, so it's a person you become in this process that makes you stand out and makes you attractive to future employers. As well as, there's nothing like the US college system. Nothing else like it. There's great universities in your home country, no questions. You can get a great education in your home country, no questions. In the States, it's the difference between playing, if you're not at that elite level from a selection perspective, the pyramid narrows to a very select few in most sports in most countries. So beyond that, you're playing potentially, particularly as a junior, you're playing under the radar. And, so where was I going with that? I got a little bit sidetracked, right? So if you want that opportunity to take your sports to the next level, the process that you go through as an international athlete simply looks good to you on a resume. And that's right. I was talking about the US college system, there being nothing else like it. The networks and connections as an international athlete that you make over there through industry, professionals, through the universities, through the alumni, if you are smart about how you utilize that, it creates massive opportunities for you long term. And I'm hoping to get to interview Jesse Williams. Now, I've caught up with Jesse for a coffee. Great guy, awesome story, which is one I want to tell you. But it talks about the value of his US college experience and how it's been the safety net when his professional sporting career got cut short. The networks and connections that he created as a result of his US experience has been massive value to him. So, yeah, hopefully, I know Jesse's just crazy busy at the moment. Hopefully we can jump on an interview with him over a coffee one day and just have a chat about his story. It's worth Googling. So it's the whole package, and that's getting you started is what the 30-day game plan's about. Okay, so again, free video. Click on the link in the description here. You don't need to sign up for anything. Just watch the video, and if it's of interest to you, then there's next steps that you can go through. So the other thing that I touched on that I haven't been talking too much about right now, and I've just about come to the end of my walk. So what I might do is I'll shoot another video a little bit later, because I want to talk to you about some of the things that we've got going on with our Game Changer program. Some of the things we're investigating about providing elite or high performance services to our Game Changer members and how we're going to go about doing that. So yeah, had a really interesting meeting conversation. But back to motivation. What do you want to do to start with, and why is that important to you? And then once you establish, firstly, that it is important, just because it's on offer doesn't mean you have to do it. But what do you want to do? Why do you want to do it? How are you going to go about doing it? Essentially, that's what the 30-day game plan is about, and helping you step by step fast track that discovery process. Okay, with no big risk, no big outlay, no big commitment. Okay, then after we go through the checklist, what I'll start to do is spend a little bit more time on our Game Changer program, which is the ongoing community and support that you can get as you go through your sports scholarship journey. But the first thing we're going to do, I'll continue on with the 6 core success strategies that underlie the 30-day game plan, so that you know what the core foundations or fundamentals of what we've put together are. And then, if USA Sports Scholarship is right for you, how do you discover that really is the case? Then why is it important to you? And then how are you going to go about doing it? Okay, so yeah, I need to go grab a coffee, get my daughter off to school, and I'll catch up with you. But yeah, later today I'll shoot a separate video around our Game Changer program, some of the things that we're investigating, some of the things that we're discovering, the things that we're doing, what's coming down the track. Okay, so yeah, I'll catch you later. Cheers.